So the weather today here at Membury is, I think it's fair to say, a bit grizzly, not so good. So Harvey and I are not flying. We've been drinking tea and doing a little bit of ground prep for exams. It's got us talking about what you actually need to do in order to get a pilot's license. What do you need to do? So we thought we'd fire up the studio and get this conversation shared with you guys. So Harvey, how many hours in are you?
8 hours so far.
8 hours. And I've got to tell you, Harvey's flying really well. It's not going to be too long before he's solo. And once you go solo, really, you've broken the back of it. You're on the downhill straight to get a pilot's license. So what exactly do you need to do? Well, I'm going to tell you what the minimums are. And, you know, there's a thing here, you know, at BYP, we really do try and do as much as we can in simulators and on the ground, and maximise the use of the aircraft so that we're not burning hours unnecessarily. But these are the minimums. It's not appropriate for everyone to be getting a minimum hour pass, but the minimums are as follows. Just on the board behind you, 25 hours of instruction, 25 hours of which 15 will be dual and 10 will be solo, and included in those 10 solo hours will be 2 cross countries. You're going to pass 5 exams. They're not easy, but they're definitely not hard. You know, by the time you take the exams, the textbooks are great. You don't need to know everything about everything. You need to know enough: air law, navigation, aerotechnical, meteorology, human performance, and then you have to pass a GST, which is a general skills test. So that's it. Now, Harvey, once you have done your 25 hours, your 5 exams, and passed the GST, you'll get a microlight pilot's license. And I think you should think of your pilot's licensing now as a ladder. Historically, there was a little bit of, there were different routes to go into flying. Microlights started with motorcycle engines strapped to hang glider wings, and you didn't need to have any kind of license to fly one. But now the CAA have done great work recently to harmonise everything. So really you can see this as a ladder. This is your first rung on the ladder all the way up to becoming an airline pilot if you choose. So with this license, you'll be able to fly around most of Europe in a 2-seat aircraft, and pretty much any 2-seat aircraft, modern 2-seat aircraft, will be open to you as a microlight pilot. But if you want to fly something with more seats, it's relatively simple just to go up another rung in the ladder, and then you can get 4-seat or something a bit heavier, and then you can go up another rung, do a full PPL, and go all the way up to commercial and indeed airline if you want. But I'd say for 90+% of people, an NPPL microlight provides them with more than enough of a pilot's license for all the flying they're ever going to want to do. How do you feel? You ready?
Nervous, excited, bit of both.
Excited. Well, hopefully this side of Christmas, if we get the weather right and you can keep coming back as regularly as you have been, hopefully we'll get there well this side of Christmas. So there you have it. You need 25 hours, of which 10 will be solo with a couple of cross countries, 5 exams, pass a GST, and you're going to have that freshly minted pilot's license.
Can't wait.
Which you can do a lot with. And I have to say, I did have ideas and designs that I might continue my training and do heavier aircraft, but I just love flying light aircraft so much. I'm not particularly drawn to the heavier stuff. So I'd say for most people, a microlight pilot's license is going to do everything they're ever going to need, even up to, but you know, flying bigger aircraft with more seats. I don't think you ever really need to do much more than a microlight license, but you can if you choose. So who's the first person you're going to take flying once you've got your ticket, when you take a passenger?
I don't think anyone in the family will let me take them, but
They wouldn't trust you.
we'll see. I'll find someone stupid enough, I'm sure.
No. You'll by the time you get there, you'll be more than safe. So there it is. NPPL, microlight, what you can do with it and what you need to get there.